Eddie Arcaro for Color Track from RCA.
These racing silks are royal blue, red, and Kelly green. RCA wanted me to tell you the right colors because getting the color right is what their exclusive color track system is all about. It's a remarkable development that actually adjusts color and keeps it on track.
Nice. So we're going to talk about last week's cycling this week. Oh well, last week's cycling today. You got a mixed bag this week of work and holidays because it's school holidays with my kids. It's going to be a little bit different, but last week I did 7 days straight. I did some casual Zwift riding. I did a race in Zwift that I want to talk about. I also did a big 125k ride, which is my longest ride. Not to say that that's super long, but for people that do long rides, but it's my longest ride. I'm going to walk through the week of cycling, what I got up to, why did I choose what I was choosing after I've been out of a training plan, what made it more or less casual, but at the same time have some level of focus, and walk that out. So yeah, right now I'm just getting a coffee. It's a little time change. Sounds a bit lower than normal. It's this ominous shadow on my face. Also, apologies for the other camera. I'm trying to figure out how to get a wind cut on that. It's got gnarly noise and audio recording. It's good when it's quiet, but when there's background noise or wind, it's pretty rough. So I gotta figure that one out. It wasn't super expensive, but it has the flip camera selfie thing, so helps when you're doing the vids. It is a hectic day today. Just dropped the kids off. I'm trying to consider what ride I'm gonna do today. I really have no clue what that ride's gonna look like today. I wanna do a race in Zwift, but I'm fairly certain I won't have time for that. Like it's such a specific timing thing. Is it an outdoor ride today, which probably makes the most sense? Maybe a lunchtime 1 hour smasher and then come back. That could be good. We'll see what I do. Woo! So, getting caught up on doing, what is that? What a weird email. So, gonna get caught up on some vlogging, some proper vlogging. I haven't really done proper vlogging for a little while now. Straight to camera, getting things going. I've been experimenting with this new Sony camera. Great because it does this, but I'm gonna say that the microphone is absolutely rubbish on this thing. I'm trying to figure out the best way of dealing with that mic. But anyway, this is the nicer setup, the Canon 600D with the Rode mic, far nicer with the wide angle lens. Gonna go through, as I talked about last week's rides, just want to break that up a little bit and talk out what did I do last week from a 7-day riding week. The week prior was the sort of end of my 3-week training plan, and I was doing more of the FTP tests and whatnot. But last week on the bike was actually quite productive. I'm gonna walk it through. So Monday was more of a casual ride. Did 30 Ks in Zwift, Zwift London. Target was 30 kilometers, normalized power of 288. The zone work, the heart rate zone work was primarily was zone 3. So it's sort of tempo riding, zone 3 is tempo riding. And then I pushed up into some zone 4 threshold work. So not a big push on Monday. Tuesday morning, again in London, just focused on doing 1 hour. It was a little bit less intense, average power, the normalized power of 272. If you don't know what I'm talking about with power, GCN did a great thing that talked about normalized power and what that actually means as an indicator. So maybe we'll link to that here, GCN's normalized power thing. Otherwise, you can go on your averages. And I know that I've talked averages, average heart rate. I better do this average heart rate thing as well, since I've said to people do heart rate stuff. Average heart rate of 144. So my heart's in solid condition. It's sort of tough for me to do it, but if I break this into, again, in tempo riding, zone 3 tempo riding, but that was more than half an hour there with 15 minutes of threshold riding. So again, pushing the heart a bit here and there, doing some efforts, but again, it was just base building effort. On Wednesday, I did a 50K ride. So again, the target was to go for an hour and a half on the bike. Again, a Zwift ride, but this was in Watopia. So this was an hour and a half in the saddle, 51 Ks. Not heavy in the effort, but at 277 watt normalized power. My heart rate was again in the tempo zone. An hour and 2 minutes of that was tempo, with 10 minutes at threshold. It was more of a base building week. And one of the interesting stats across the week was form, the TSB. And that gives you a great indication of where your fatigue levels or your output levels will be, and whether or not you're going to fatigue faster. And I was sitting in the sort of minus 0.6, minus 0.1, minus 0.4 range across the beginning of the week. Quite interesting to just really just be in good form for the 3 days of riding. And I wasn't pushing myself too hard, so that makes a big difference. Then I did a group ride in Zwift on Thursday. And the group ride turned out to actually be a race. And you had to put yourself into a class by taking your FTP and your weight and dividing them, which put me in Class B, which I didn't think I would be in a Class B. I've never raced before, and again, it's a virtual race, so I just took it on for what it was. But I jumped into this Class B race, and I had like technical issues. I had this weird interface where the video in itself was just a black screen, but the rest of the dials and the UI was there, the user interface was there. So I was able to ride the race. It was 4 laps of the hilly route. So there was the main KOM hill climb, and then you just looped around 4 times, so 9K per lap. So at Class B, the base was like, I think you need to be 3.2 watts per kilo. At 3.88 was mine. So I just jumped in and I had a run at it. For the actual ride, I averaged a normalized power of 312 watts. I actually bumped my FTP up to 314 and got notifications that my FTP had gone up. My heart rate was in threshold for 44 minutes and 50 seconds of the ride, with zone 5 work at 5 minutes. So I was full pelt pushing it for the time. So for the race, I did 36 kilometers, just over, in 56 minutes. My watts per kilo jumped up to 3.9, and I was averaging some pretty insane speed. So my average speed for the race was 39.3 kilometers an hour on average across the race. My cadence was 90. My heart rate sat at 161, which is my sort of threshold, lactate threshold. And my average power was 310 across it. It was an insane ride, and I was blown away. And I walked away very interested in racing in general and wanting to get more involved in group rides and really push this cycle. So I'm actually quite interested in getting amongst that. I'm nervous to do competition. I don't know if I want to be a competitor in cycling. I feel like maybe I'm not ready for that. But that's probably more a fear of not really knowing what I'm supposed to be doing in a road cycling environment. Nevertheless, it's one of those things where, you know, I'm eager to learn more and understand what to do there. But yeah, that was mind-blowing. So the next morning I got up and I wanted to do the 6 a.m. recovery ride, and I got up really early. It was disgustingly early to get into it. I'd already joined the ride to do it, but I got no prompt to join the group. So I didn't actually get to do the group ride. And I guess that kind of sucked. Like, I wanted to get amongst it and do it. So I did 3 laps instead of 2, did 31 Ks. Again, like, normalized power was low, 268. And, you know, it was a leg spinning session. So it was very much down in the zone 2, zone 3 area. For 52 minutes, I was, you know, sort of just spinning legs, did 31 Ks. Saturday, we all know what I did. I took the girlfriend out for a ride. That was just casual. 154 normalized power. I don't even think my heart rate registered above. Oh, it did. It went up into, I did 8 minutes in zone 2. It's very low. The rest of the ride was all below 111 beats per minute. So it was more about getting the girlfriend out and having fun and teaching her what to do on the bike, which was enjoyable. And, you know, we did 21 Ks in an hour and 7 minutes. And it was just, you know, a bit of leg spinning, having some fun with her, and, you know, getting out and teaching her what to do out there. Sunday was the big ride. I wanted to do something heavy. I did a 125 kilometer ride that day. It wasn't a big push day. I wasn't trying to go crazy riding. But what I ended up meeting up with a buddy of mine and doing the ride. He was keen to do something a bit longer. Normalized power was 256. Nothing major here. I mean, across a big long ride, it was 4 hours and 24 minutes. Average speed of 28 kilometers an hour, which is healthy. The heart rate across the ride was very much aerobic capacity, so that base building stuff Did 2 hours there, an hour and a half at tempo, and 24 minutes at threshold. So that would have been in some of the hill climb areas. There's a number of those across the day. Overall, the ride had 4 hours and 24 minutes, 125 kilometers, with an altitude gain of 2,000 meters. It was a good ride. It was nice to get out. It was a beautiful day. So that's the week of riding. It was, it was a solid effort, 336 kilometers. About 10 hours on the bike, or almost 11 hours on the bike. It was a good effort. I continued the diet, kept eating the food, but I had a rubbish weekend of junk food and beer. But anyhow, thanks everybody for chatting in the comments. The subscribes have come up, which is pretty cool. The likes are coming through. The weight loss vlog got a lot of attention, and I'm glad that it resonated with so many people. It's good that people feel the same and find motivation out of this stuff. One of the big reasons I'm doing this is to share what I do to motivate others, and to talk candidly and open and honestly about my stuff so that others can find some drive and meaning there. So I'm glad that that's coming across. That's what I want to come across. I want to have a conversation with people about this stuff, and YouTube's an interesting platform to do this. I can sit in my office and I can talk rubbish. You guys can come in and give me some perspective on what I'm talking about. So thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. Peace out. Email, Dream Lover, the Bobby Darin music. Oh, I know what this is because I went to a show, a play at some point. I think it was when I did Wicked. And now I'm signed up forever for other things that come in.